Hello everyone, I'm High Treason. What went bang? Who put that there? Well, anyways, I'll be honest with you. I drove like a little bit down the road. It was only like a handful of k's, Karen meters, whatever they're called, and the physics went fucking mental. My car got like thrown, like, arse in the air, and yeah. It was definitely a bug because I was on like a flat piece of road when it happened, or relatively flat, and so I have reset, but I didn't drive very far, And I did say, I would reload if it was a bug, but I was like literally only a couple of minutes in, like, if that. It's not like I'd even looked at the timer, so, well, the clock. I look at the clock on my second monitor. So yeah, this biome, this snow biome, was sort of seemed to be just petering out. So I guess you'll know how far I went. So I have been on this bit of road before, and yeah. But like I said, there's just nothing really to worry about. Like, I'm not hiding much from you, and it was only a couple of minutes tops. Now, one thing I will say is some of the terrain here is really, really pretty. Like, again, this game is generally quite an ugly looking game. And it's ugly in a way that I actually like. I think it fits. But yeah, you get to places like this and it is strangely nice to look at when the terrain's really extreme. And I feel like, yeah, the night came and I slept through it and then drove a little bit more. Yeah, my interior lights on. Check that out. I better turn it off. But yeah, the terrain is going to keep being extreme, and I feel like it's going to be really extreme a lot of the time, just because this seed was so flat for so long. And I think, like, I almost get the vibe that there's like a quota that the generator tries to put into the world. Or, the world around where the road is, at least. So, because we don't have that much left of the road in reality, I feel like it's going to bunch this up really, really bad, like really close, and we're going to get some really extreme stuff, which is fine, but I must have been somewhere around here. Wasn't here. Like, I think there's a bit where loads of ground sticks through the road coming up. Yeah, there you go. And it was just past here. There's like the biome starting to change. It was the road's sort of like, yeah, I think it was in this bit, maybe just a little bit farther. So I'm gonna go real slow here. There we go. I think it was in this bit around here. Like, it might be that a bus generated in the road, like when I was already like where it was. I don't know. I might have been like a teensy bit farther or a teensy bit before, but in any case, the physics went silly and it bugged my car. Like, just out of nowhere, my car just went fucking flying. And when it's a bug, I think I've said before, I'm allowed to reload if, like, a bug comes and disables me like that. The game's not finished, it's an unfinished game, so it's gonna be a bit buggy. And I sort of feel like the physics always should be a little bit fucking janky in this game. I think that is part of what makes it fun. It has manual saving, and as long as you have manual saving enabled, I don't really see a problem with it. It's not that much of a chore to just load the game again. Of course, it's a bit of a chore for me, in a way, just because, it doesn't load very fast and I've driven all this far, but I think that's just universal to everyone. Maybe someday it'll be able to load faster, I don't know how the save system works. And, the dev might just suddenly click something one day in what's going on and be like, oh, if I do that, if I store this in one array instead of like lots and lots of variables, it'll load faster or something like that. I don't know, because I don't know how it works, but just general optimization-y things. I mean, do I think this game could perform a lot better than it does? It may be, but it's using Unity, and Unity is not really a very well-performing game engine at all, and so, but yeah, certainly, if the game was on a different engine, written from the ground up specifically for this game, then, well, sure, it'd perform better, but, I mean, you'd probably, these days, you'd need, like, a pretty sizable team to do something like that, I guess. You don't really hear of, like, just one or two guys doing that sort of thing anymore. I mean, all the shader effects that go on, yeah, they're simple compared to a lot of games, but if you really want to write those yourself, like, the game does its job, it doesn't cost a lot. It's not a big AAA title, and I can be a little bit more lenient. If this game was from, like, a big studio and it cost a lot of money, I don't think I'd like it anywhere near as much. But the fact it's just, dude and his friend wanted to play this, so they started making it. Holy shit. That's the sort of thing that happened to us, but it was, like, way worse, obviously. Should we stop here? I didn't talk about the distance, but we were about, like, 240 or something, because I said 290 was the target. I remember that when I started. We're going to have a look in here. I doubt there's anything I need. Oh, you could have given us that before when we were in the snow. Someone wants to pull that up the hill and go down the other side, then be my guest. I'm not doing it. Is there anything I want from here? I would have thought so. Fuel, we shouldn't need any time soon. This car will be guzzling it because it's heavy. And then fuel consumption goes up depending on how much load is on the engine. I don't really see anything I want in here. I do have to wonder if the chrome bumps would fit our car, but I don't think they would. I don't care that much. Yeah, there's another engine. We'll have a look for oil. We've probably used oil. It's got water. Oh, is it that one that has water? Okay, I'm not quite sure there. The hitboxes have been weird. There's lots of water in here. Not a lot of fuel. Some jizz. Did I need jizz for the bumpers? Or something? I don't quite remember. I think we did those already. Yeah, we did. I don't think they can go another stage. Well, they can. I can hardly tell the fucking difference, like, but... I really don't see a difference. But I mean, it's free stuff, so we might as well use it, right? Okay, well, we'll chuck that back in the building. I didn't find any oil. I'm not going to look that hard, because we're not short on it. The engine's still making enough power, and the oil light's not on. Oh, man, the frame rate wasn't very nice there, was it? It'll spike up, like, as the building unloads. Performance is going to get worse. I'm surprised it's performing anywhere near as well as it is, if I'm entirely honest, like this far out. I think we can get to... Oh, I knew that was going to nip us. I think we can get to part... I think around part 70. Maybe one more, maybe part 71. But I will be nice and say part 70. It should get us out to 4,000k. So we've got a little ways to go. We've got, like, 5 or 6 parts to get there. And then it's the home stretch. It's the last 1,000k. And that is, like I say, that's when it starts to feel a bit weird to me. The whole, oh shit, we're actually, it's coming to an end. We're almost there. And then I find out that I get the longest road ever and it's like 7k, 8k, something like that. I don't think that's possible, but... Hey, maybe it is, but I don't think so. So the generation's a little bit strange, because as far as I know, it thinks it generates like exactly 5 k's, and yet it does seem to generate a bit over and under sometimes. It must be something about the way it calculates corners, would be my guess. Don't want to go at that bit, no. I mean, by the end of this part, this car's technically done, but we'll probably be stuck with it for a long time just because cars are not very common in the world anymore. And to be honest, we could do a lot worse. Yeah, it's not the nicest thing to drive. It's not fucking, you know, it doesn't drive well. It's heavy and it's slow at going uphill compared to my 2101, but it is workable. We can work with this car. It does the job. You know, I don't despise it as much as maybe I used to, but it's not like the 2101 where I'm like, hey, I actually like this car now. Maybe that'll change when it's been with me another part or two, but I don't think so. I'm going to crash here, aren't I, because it's a grass biome. They always crash in the grass biomes. The only thing they have going for them is that they tend to be relatively flat. It looks a lot brighter green than usual to me today. Sure, that's not just me seeing that. Maybe it is. Maybe it's because it transitioned very quickly, so I didn't get the muddier green of the biome blending. If you turn that off, you just see these hard edges like along the grid. Like, you know, the best way I can describe it is like chunks in Minecraft almost. Like if you generate them in different versions, it sort of looks like that. I think I've said before I ain't gonna bother with that game anymore. It's not the same anymore. They've ruined it. They made it too much of a chore. You know, whoever put the fucking tough slate, whatever the fucking... Fuck yourself. Just honestly fuck yourself. You're a dick. You're a fucking dickhead. That's a prime example of devs who don't play the game they made. I do wonder how much the dude who made this actually plays it. Because I suspect he at least plays it a bit. You know, he seems to be reasonably on the ball with the game mechanics and sort of changing them over time. So I get the impression that, you know, not all of it is player feedback and that he is sort of fiddling in the game himself. He probably leaves it for months at a time because he probably gets sick of the sight of it. You know, I know about that from making things myself, you know, that you do eventually get sick of the thing you made and you just, oh fucking no, I want nothing else to do with that. And sometimes when you feel like that, it is better to walk away rather than force yourself to keep messing with it because you'll just do a shit job and, you know, not working on it isn't a wasted day because if you make yourself do it, you'll do a bad job and then have to spend 3 days putting it right. I mean, I have days in my life where I wake up and I just think, you know what, I'm not going to move off my sofa today, I'm going to sit here. And the only time I'm going to get up is like when I need food or if I need to shit or, you know, something like that. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit here and I'm not going to do anything because I don't fucking feel like it. And people, oh, that's a wasted day, you know, you shouldn't waste a day like that. You only have a finite number of them. It's like, yeah, well, you know, what I'm doing is technically an investment because, you know, A, I'm fucking tired and I need a day to rest sometimes. B, if I make myself do that job that needs doing, like that fucking woodwork or whatever, I won't do a good job of it, even though I try to make myself, because I'm just not in the mood, so it'll come out crap, and then I've wasted a bunch of time, a bunch of material, a bunch of energy, and I have to waste even more undoing the shit job that I did. Like, and that could take a few days. So, and those are days that I felt like doing something else. So instead, what I might as well do is just not do it, wait until I have, you know, the next day, and then do it then, when I fucking feel like it, and then I can get it done in like a couple of hours and go and do some other fucking thing. Or maybe afford to have the rest of the day doing fuck all. You know, you got to think ahead with these things. It's not a wasted day to do nothing sometimes. Don't let anyone tell you it is. Now, I mean, if you just do that day after day and never do anything, then that's probably not good, but You know, just doing it once or twice, it's not a big deal. Plus there's a mental aspect of it, isn't there, you know? You force yourself to do stuff, you're going to feel shit. And why do you want to feel shit when you can avoid it? Is the thing that needs doing urgent? You know, is it a case of, I will expire if I don't do this? I will get arrested if I don't do this. I will get laughed at and have my dick bitten off by sexy evil bunnies if I don't do this. And if it's not, then, well, who fucking cares, you know? What's the big deal? Yeah, it's a gutted bus. Yeah, we really don't need nothing. I'm just coming to look and see if there's any oil. There's every chance these are vehicles we'll be driving on the way home. And like I said, we really do have to think about that with our resource usage now. Is this drivable? No, there's no diesel. Does it have anything else? No oil. There's alcohol in it. Well, I've got phosphor persistence on my monitor then. That's weird. I'm not sure it was, because it was like square-edged, so that might be my GPU. Been weird. Weather's very hot still, so... I don't know why, it's just in my head that I might need oil, so, you know, do what we can with this. Oh yeah, I was right, it is guzzling it. Still, that should keep it happy for now. It's not perfect, but it'll do. Gut instinct doesn't tend to let me down very often. You'll just get a really, really high mountain now and wish I'd persisted at getting more oil. What's that? 268. So we've got about 20k to go. In not a lot of minutes, actually. About 20 minutes to do it, which isn't fantastic, but... So what the future holds. I mean, we haven't exactly been moving slowly. Like I say, it's weird. I've never quite been able to pick up that pace that I was maintaining before. And I don't know where it's gone. I'm still faster than most people in this game that I've seen, but I'm not as fast as I was. The terrain will be causing this. You know, I remember when we were knocking like 70, 80k out and I wasn't even trying, whereas now, you know, I have to put effort in to actually get these distances. And that's only going to get worse as time goes on. By my current estimations, we will be one episode off of the number I bet. So, yeah, that isn't fantastic. But then I didn't factor in the faffing about with 61A and stuff like that. Well, let's sleep out tonight. Cigarette's not smoking right for some reason. Oh. Here we go. What are we doing? 270? Fucking hell, we knocked those Ks out real fast. Like, this is what I mean. Like, sometimes you just make real good distance, and then other times it seems like you don't. And it doesn't line up with the world counter, like in the save menu sometimes. It's a bit weird. It definitely follows it a lot more closely than it used to. And I really do have a feeling that's one of the things where if, you know, the dev was here and I asked him, like, what did you do to that? He'd be like, nothing. I don't know why it does that. Man, the roads are getting brutal. They're really getting brutal now. Ooh. Like, how many of those ziggy-zaggy roads are we seeing? How many of the terrain we see stick through? Oh no. Not you. I'm not in the mood for you alien babes. Fuck off. I've nearly caught up to you now. Sometimes I see those rocks in the distance and I think they're like wagons. You know, like, you know, the old ones with like the sort of rounded like canvas over the top. I don't know why. Like, I just see them in the distance and it's like, oh shit, looks like them. I know it's not, but God, can you imagine if this game had horses? If the game did have horses, would they have their own shit button? It's a rabbit, that's why the rock's moving. I was like, what? I'm sure that rock is... I thought it might be floating over the road or something. I've seen that before. But no, it was a rabbit. Yeah, we're nearly there now, alien babes, so, you know, you better be getting yourselves ready. Because we're going to be showing up to your little fashion show and shoving our dick in it. And how far are we going to be at the end of this? What, about 3,600 maybe? Nah, probably just shot. I can't remember what we started at. We're already past 3,600. We might be up for 3,700, you know. Well, that would be cool. We've got 10k to go before we're on target. And now it actually feels much easier. We should have plenty of time to do that in. So it must have just been a little patch of slow progress there. Still, with the terrain this far out, you really want to be careful not to nip the edges of the road if you can help it. I feel like we're going a little bit downhill here, so I can't quite say, but it almost does look like there's mountains coming up again, and that'll slow us down. We might just skip by them if we're lucky. But yeah, I'm sure we had a Pearl Desert mountain earlier, and you don't usually see Pearl Deserts in the mountains, so that was unusual. I'm sort of hoping here we get a plain desert and it's just a flat plain desert. That would be nice. You know, I like going in the mountains, but it's always nice to have a break from them as well. Like, just have all the terrain types. Like, don't just have one constantly. If it was always mountains, I'd get sick of it. And it can be a bit trying. And if it was always flat, I'd get really bored, you know. I like it when the terrain goes, like, all different ways. It's kind of the point, isn't it? Although I will always like the canyons and cliffs of the early generation, and I wouldn't mind if it was just like a biome type. Like, say you had like a chalk biome. You know, it'd be like a rock biome where you still got the canyons and cliffs and the road was relatively flat. And like I say, you know, I think it was good because the cliffs off the side of the road was certainly pretty neat, because if you lost the car down there, then you could get back up, because eventually the terrain would come back up to road height, but it could be a long way to drive to get there, and of course if you were stuck for resources, you know, you'd be in trouble. It did look weird when there were buildings, because you would just have like this bit of ground jutting out with its own cliff. Like, it wasn't like a platform sticking out the side of the cliff. Like, you know, the floor did come up to meet it. So that looked quite strange, especially when you had like haunted houses. And what was weird is sometimes they would be still at different height to the road, and it would have quite a smooth carve. So, you know, this sort of terrain that we have now with the road moving, it was clearly always the intention, and the buildings could obviously spawn on that before the road was capable of following it. That's a 2102. 02. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 2102. 21 I read that as 267, and I was like, what? So I think we're actually already, we weren't at 240, I think we were at 237 when we set off or something. That's what I see in my head, so maybe it was. So we've actually done target distance already. And we have a fair few minutes left, so we might actually tally up a decent distance on this one, ladies and ladymen. It's, yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be nice. We've done bad progress, like, lately. We started catching up again, so maybe now it's coming back. Like, maybe at last we're gonna just be able to knock out good distances again. This is a relatively flat biome as well, and I'm quite glad of that. Even if it doesn't last long, it's nice to be in one, even if only for a while, after all the extreme ups and downs that we've had. You know, this is, as I say, it's what we want. We want variety. We like variety. You know, that's why I don't have a specific type with women. You know, it's like, you know, why would I only want to fuck white women? I can fuck black women as well. You know? Why would I only like brunettes when I can like blondes and redheads as well? I'm not so sure about the ones with blue hair, but I don't know. So yeah, well, we're the same with the terrain. Like at the moment we're in some blonde terrain. Ew. Damn rocks. The other thing I am noticing is they don't seem to be doing the late loading thing anywhere near as much as they did the last time I came here. I mean, I've told you before, I have only been this far out once. And so that was my experience. See, I just complimented your game and you immediately spit in my fucking face. Some things come off. Lots of things come off. Hopefully it was just hubcaps. Well, we lost the radio. What was all that stuff that flew off? Okay, well my radiator's still there because that's fucking vital. You don't want to lose that. Did we lose any panels? Didn't lose bumpers. Well, the hubcaps don't scare me. I think we've even got all four of them this time. So you know what, we're not going to freak out too much about that. I don't know what it was that flew off. Might have been the glove box thing. Might have been a visual bug, and it might have been this stuff, and the physics engine was just asleep and it's sent it back. It's not like we had anything loose in the car. Okay, so we lost the glove box thing. I'm not really going to be worrying about that. I mean, I'll look for it, but I won't look very hard. Is that it? Might be it. I don't think we lost anything else, but I'm sure I saw more than that fly off. Might have lost headlights. Did I check those? I mean, I'm not going to worry too much if we lost them. No, we still got those. Yeah, we lost our license plate ages ago. Looks like everything else is still here, so... Yeah, maybe my eyes caught something that wasn't there. I'm not too worried. Like, all the vital things are... Oh! Wing mirrors. They've gone. Oh, that might be one of them. Down there. Don't know if we can find both. Okay, well that's not super, you know, end of the world. Ideally we'd find both of them. I'm not going to look for too long. You know, I don't bother. It's not essential to the operation of the car. As we're on quite a slope here, it could have fallen down there, and it could be bloody anywhere by now. So I'm not going to lose sleep over missing one. We can get another one. Or we can just not replace it. We don't really use them very much, do we? Okay, so we'll try and keep our speed somewhat sensible and see if we can spot it, but yeah, I think it's gone. It'll be out there somewhere. Are you going to load me a car? We don't usually get cars at these, and the odds of us getting mirrors are very slim. They did used to spawn separately once upon a time, but they just don't seem to do that anymore. Fuck it, I want to get to 300k on the odometer. Before this part's out, I think we can do it easy unless something like that happens again. If we spot a car, we will stop and steal its mirror, but yeah, as I say, it's a fucking mirror. It's not going to... It might have been farther back, for all I know, from where the hubcaps were. But yeah, I'm not crying over spilt milk like that. It's not a big deal. It's a mirror. All we have to do is find a car that we can steal one off of. And, well, they're not really super common anymore. Like I say, I don't see mirrors spawn on their own anymore. They used to. Now, when it's difficult is if you're running a rust truck like I was, and you know you want all the rusty bits. Finding a fully rusted fucking right mirror, that took me forever. But the hardest thing was actually finding the rusted door, and that's why I still think we need a way to rust things in the game. Like, you know, I still think if you pee on the car, it should make it go rusty or something. Or like, you know, we should have a fluid that would do it. Like some other way. And out of the fluids we have, I don't really think any of them would do it. You know, petrol isn't going to do much. Diesel would protect the metal quite well. Same with oil, would protect the metal really quite well. Alcohol, I suppose you could get rust from alcohol indirectly. Like the alcohol itself, I don't reckon would rust the metal, but it might remove dirt and stuff, and so, yeah. I mean, if we had chlorine, that would do it. I mean, you could put mothballs in the game, I suppose. To increase fuel octane or something, but make it really, really increase engine temperature, maybe. Just to stop people being silly with it. But, you know, if you want to take the risk and do it, then you'd be able to. And if you... Because you could have them work like the sponge, I guess, in a way. Like, the only difference is you'd be able to put them in the fuel tank as well. But, you know, if you could maybe use them like the sponge as well, and if you like held them on the car panels, like, you know, and started rubbing them against it, it would rust it. Just because they did at least contain some amount of chlorine or compounds that reacted to make chlorine when they were burnt. It wasn't the chlorine people wanted in the engine, it was, I'm sure it was like naphtha or naphthalene, something like that. It just, it boosted fuel octane some tiny amount. It made no difference because people were putting it in their shitty Vauxhall Novas that weren't designed for higher octane fuel anyway, and didn't tune the engine for it, so the engines were all still tuned to just run on the fucking 85 octane 4-star shit that they'd always run it on. I think it was 87 octane on it. I can't remember. Now it's all 95 octane full of fucking ethanol, and my little 2-stroke engines hate it. But, you know, there's what it is, can't do anything about it, but tune the engine to run better on it. But it really doesn't give the same response as it did. Now, the trick would be, for those shitty little 2-strokes, would actually be to just pour water in the petrol and then shake the hell out of it, and that would pull the ethanol out of the suspension because it's water soluble. And then you'd be able to just drain the water out the bottom of the container, like you'd leave it to settle, and then you'd just drain the water out the bottom, and you'd just be left with just the petrol. And at that point, you'd be like 80-something octane, you know, which is really the sort of stuff those engines were designed to run on. They're old engines, really. Their design, they were They were meant for pretty low octane fuel. Sheesh, we do get a lot of day-night cycles now. I swear these are happening quicker than they used to. Let's try and get up the hill before we sleep. There we go. We'll sleep here. Can you stop, car? I think we hit something. Hopefully that didn't damage us. Did we hit anything? No, I'm sure I had a bang though. It looks like I have no radiator. I definitely do, but it looks like I don't. Must be the fan of this engine just sticks through it. Well, you know, not much we can do. It's another ziggy-zaggy road. I mean, they're getting really janky, aren't they, sometimes, these roads? Really, really janky. We're not even going that fast. I mean, it's hard to gauge now, you know. Sure, we could go really slow, but travelling at a decent speed, is it better to travel a sort of okay speed, or do we want to just go as fast as we can and jump over the gaps? Like, you know, what is the ideal speed to take that stuff on? And truth be told, I'm not really sure. How are we on fuel? We're still above a half tank. I feel like we probably should go out to a boat at some point. I mean, the oil light's definitely going to come on at some stage. You know, that oil we poured in isn't going to last a really, really long time or nothing. So, you know, we'll have to deal with that as well. So, yeah, we probably should go out to a boat. Definitely think we're going to be heading back in the mountains. We won't have long without mountains, is my bet. As I've told you, I think the game wants to squeeze a certain amount of those into the world, and as this world was very flat for a very long time, we're going to just get like lots of really extreme mountains one after the other. The seed I drove out here on before was really mountainous. Like, that's why I said I did all of it with the pickup truck. I'd done 168k before there was a mountain that was too steep for my bus, and there was this rusty pickup truck at the bottom of the mountain at this gas station. I just took it and drove all the way at the end of the road with it. I will get that green 2101 to the end of the road in my own time, and I will get it home in my own time. You know, like I say, when we get to the end of the road, I'll stop playing it for you for a while, but I'll just drive my, you know, that fucking green 2101. I'll load my last save up that I had with it, and I'll drive it all the way to the end. And then when I come back, you know, I'll just show you a quick clip of, hey guys, look, it's my fucking shit car, it made it. Anyway, let's continue from this reality in which we're now driving this yellow car, and we'll be driving unknown by the time we get to the end. So we'll start driving back with unknown, and then once we've made it home, I'll drive the green car all the way back. I mean, how far out were we when we got that car? Weren't we only like 1,000k or something? I'm sure we were in the black car when we passed 2,500. This 3,000, this third 1,000k just seems to have flown by so far. We'll probably be stopping at the next building unless it's just over this ridge, in which case we will try and push one more. Or unless it has like a car that I can steal a mirror from. Might have just caught a peep of a big gas station there. So maybe we might be stopping here. Again, we could stop quick and maybe zip a little farther. look. Oh shit, that's steeper than I thought. Okay. Nothing there. Right, you know what? I'm going to go one more building and I'm going to ignore the oil situation and just bank on being able to find a bird. Oh shit. Back of this car loves to get in the air, you know, it loves to butt fuck the road. Now we don't actually have a lot of time, but like I say, I figure I can do it. I think I can just make it to another building as long as we drive quick enough. We have about 3 more before minutes to do it. Maybe a little more, but yeah, I think we can do it. We just need to keep a good speed up and we should be okay. And not hit rocks and not get the car airborne and not spin out. So naturally the terrain's gonna fucking smear shit all over my fucking tyres in the form of the road, like the terrain sticking through like that. It has improved since I last played like to this distance, so you know, I don't know if we're just lucky on this seed, but I know from seeing other people out at great distances that it definitely wasn't just me. And obviously being here again, it is still happening more than it was. Now it did get a lot worse after the 4000k, so maybe we'll have that again where it'll get really, really, really hard to drive out there. I don't know, I've got a feeling it's not going to be too bad this time. It's probably just going to be very mountainous out at those distances. Oh, is that a boat I see on the horizon? I think it is. That'd be nice if the road went close by to that. That could be our ending destination. Maybe a bit far, actually. We'll see what the road does. If the road starts heading that way, then maybe we'll zip over there. Unless a building comes up along the way. And if that boat's too far, then, well, shit, we've got plenty of time. We're not in any urgent need. We're still over half a tank, just a little. We've still got enough oil. I'm starting to feel the engine lose a bit of power. But it's not real bad, you know, we could go a lot farther without it. Once the oil light's on, it takes a long time for you to actually run out, and it doesn't damage the engine or anything, so... Should we go to that boat? Yeah, I'm going to go to it. That's going to be where we end this part. We'll drive to that boat. It's not like I can't get back to the road. I know what I'm doing, you know, even if it is quite a long ways out, well, so be it, you know. I'm not scared of having to navigate the desert. Can we put that on, please? There we go. I meant to press this button. Fucking hell, that is actually a long way out. Yeah, this might be far enough where the terrain starts to just bash the fuck out of our car. This might have been a bad idea. Oh shit. Man, I might have made a mistake here. This is probably going to kill my car. I might go back to the road. Should we? I think we should. We'll just go back to the road. We'll skip that one. Because that is... When you get this far out, the terrain actually gets really rough. And it will destroy the car. The only way around it would be to drive really slow. So I'll get you back to the road and we'll end it there. You know, it's not going to take us long. And hey, there's another boat there, so... I guess we'll drive out to that next time. I did think it was weird that there wasn't one on that side. So there's our target for the start of the next part. Is that boat. We're going to drive to that boat next time around. We'll get the tyres to touch the road, and then I'll be leaving you. And I'm not coming back. You'll have to find somebody else. You're single now. You're fucking messed up. There we go. That one's narrow. So we'll... I need to technically touch the road, don't I? There we go. Oh, there's another one there as well. We're surrounded by them. Boat ambush. Well, let's do a manual save. Let's do a progress check. What was the number? 61 somewhere on it now? Yeah. 62. So we're on part 64.
When I'm 64. Oh, it was back in the war, you know.
3729. We did 90k. I consider that a win. I'm iTreason, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. 90k. Good going. Maybe we went really over time, I hope.